Roll call for the City Council meeting of Wednesday, July 16, 2014, at 7:30 p.m. Mr. Witherspoon, Mr. Brennan, Mrs. Rankunso, Mr. Jones, Mr. Kwiatkowski, Mr. Mirsky, Mr. Winarski. Please rise for a moment of silent meditation and pledge of allegiance.
Mr. President, I ask that we remember those in our community, locally as well as globally, who have lost loved ones since the last time we were in these chambers. Remember all those that are less fortunate than we are in any and every way. And also ask that our God and Creator give us the wisdom and the proper information to make the best decisions for the citizens of the city of Erie.
Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of minutes from July 2nd and bills for payment on July 12th, July 25th, and 8/1. Mr. Brennan, Mrs. Rankunso, Mr. Jones, Mr. Kwiatkowski, Mr. Mirsky, Mr. Winarski, Mr. Witherspoon.
Hey, we have a presentation by Councilman Kaz Kwiatkowski.
Members of council, Fred, Jerry, and the public, it's my pleasure to introduce a gentleman who has done something for Erie that hasn't been done for many years. This is the first pro team to win 2 championships since the days of the old Erie Blades. And it's an honor and tribute to Bill, if you step forward. Just some highlights. They were 10-0 last year, 8-2 this year, and they won the championship on the road. And I believe, 38-26, Marion Blue Racers, was it? And we wanted Coach Liotta to be here today, but he can't be, and he's in Pittsburgh, I believe.
Pittsburgh.
And Bill, would you like to say something?
Yes, I would. First off, members of council, I want to thank you for this opportunity, and citizens of Erie. This for us is quite an honor of being able to have this proclamation presented to us. And the main thing is to share with you, I forgot my ring tonight. Okay, I wanted to show off a ring, so I decided to bring some hardware instead. So if you notice, there's 2 trophies here that we have now that are proudly shown here. And again, what I'd like to share with you by being able to do and bring some championships to the city of Erie is we'd like to declare ourselves Erie's championship team, okay, the Erie Explosion. And I already have the challenge going out that we want to be a three-peat. Now, Mel, I know you've got a little game in you, okay, and you still play a little ball. And with that in mind, it's very tough to repeat. And going after having everybody look at you and want to, put a target on your back. We've been very, very honored to go ahead and have our coach agree to come back again this year, and we'll have some things with that. And we have some other announcements coming up shortly here in the next couple of weeks. I will definitely keep all the members of council and the other officials here in the city of Erie aware of exactly what's going on. We're very honored to have some folks coming on board with us, and we'd welcome all of you to come to see a game. I don't know how close you've ever been to an NFL game, but with an Erie Explosion game, it's as close as me to Kaz and you. And so, Kaz, I want to thank you very much for this proclamation, and I'll turn it back to you.
And Curtis and I want to know when spring camp is. We're thinking about coming back out of retirement for you.
You want to be a kicker still, right? Am
Right.
I correct?
Well, one of us would have a better chance of surviving.
The kicker will be, I'll be okay.
I'll leave that out for the jury to
I've seen
decide.
his linemen. His linemen are big.
We've had a great opportunity of having, and the reason why some of this takes place is the fact that the coach has been able to bring a lot of players in. In the last 3 years, we've had over 20 individuals make it up to the next level. of the AFL as well as the CFL. So we're very honored of bringing people here to Erie of good character and as well of good talent to give them an opportunity of moving on to the next level. And we're really excited. Again, our starting quarterback this week happens to be out in Arizona. He's having a workout with the Arizona Rattlers, the two-time defending AFL champions. And so all of a sudden, whether he makes it or not, it's quite an honor to go out there and be in consideration. And we have several other young men that we've had an opportunity to have come through Erie Arena over at Erie Insurance Arena. Kaz, thank you again.
So now Erie's a city of champions and not Pittsburgh.
I'll take that honor.
Great job, Cass. Are there any requests for repository sales? Are there any requests for repository sales? Are there any requests for repository sales? Hearing none, citizens to be heard. Please step up to the mic, give us your name and address.
My name is Cassandra.
Hi, I'm Lamore Viel. Address is 707 West 38th Street, number 191, Erie, PA 16508. And we can just begin then?
Sure.
Okay. We prepared a proposal, which we do have extra copies for the council members. Thank you for this opportunity.
You also have an extra copy.
Okay. Thank you for this opportunity. We'll try to make this short, sweet, and to the point. So this is a proposal for the Underground Hip Hop Review Towards sponsorship for events and venues. The description is to promote positive views and reinforce positive aspects of the hip hop community and to instill those views onto the youth within the city of Erie and within other communities.
The proposal details. Our goal is to present a positive environment for people in our community to attend events and participate in nonviolent gatherings. In order to achieve such an environment, we created the Underground Hip Hop Review. We intended to provide entertainment and events that promote nonviolence and bring attention to the high statistics of substance abuse. We would like to show our fellow citizens that there are other options other than bloodshed. We hope to unite our community once more.
So a method of implementation for this would be to contact venues around the city and ask for sponsorship as far as using facilities and or assistance with promotions. Find local businesses who want to help and rectify the problems at hand and ask for sponsorship in that sense. We want to create hip-hop and R&B concerts that the community can enjoy and offer positive music from local influential artists and musicians such as C. Brown, myself, Lamore Viel, Elias, Random Union, and the LEC, and so forth. We want to create all-age events that everyone can participate in that will help decrease the number of the youth that are in the streets. We plan to incorporate other local artists who also have positive message, such as Amber Alley, Brooks Sturgeon, Ron Yarman Jr., and Blue Soul. Most of our events will end on or before midnight in order to lessen the chances of violence occurring. We ensure that each event is properly equipped with metal detectors and security when necessary. Our sole purpose is to ensure everyone's safety. For every event created, we plan to find ways to give back to the community. For example, everyone in attendance who brings a canned good to the event will get an entrance discount. The canned goods could then be donated to a local food bank. We plan to travel to other cities to continue to promote and reinforce positive messages that will highlight the wonderful qualities that Erie sustains. For example, New York City, Detroit, Panama City, Atlanta, Cleveland. We will hold weekly committee meetings to ensure all planning, promotions, budgets, and other details are all implemented properly. We would like to connect with nonviolent and substance abuse programs to help spread awareness and bring supporters towards our cause, such as HOPE, the Heroin Overdose Prevention in Erie, and Mothers Against Teen Violence, and so forth. We will also collaborate with other artists from other cities in hopes to unite with other communities and help spread the positive messages.
Our current sponsors and affiliates that we do have is Attorney Rick Filippi, the Metropolitan, Sullivan's, HOPE, which is Heroin Overdose Prevention in Erie, Knowledge Over Violence, Mothers Against Teen Violence, The Box, Roswell Enterprise, Lamore Viel, which is in charge of event planning, promotions, photography, and entertainment, Dream Big Promotions, Family Services, Officer DeLuca, Phased Cookies, which is WERG 90.5 FM Gannon Radio, Matt Stubenhofer, who is a DJ known in Erie, and Moffitt Designs.
Current projects and events that we do have in action. There is a list. I'll just go through it quickly. Songs and Suds, which is a car wash. We want to use that to actually fundraise for future events. Barbecue for Peace. This would also be a fundraiser. It would include live entertainment and games for the community. End of Summer Jam, which will be held at Sullivan's August 3rd. We'd like to do a first annual youth music festival. Try to involve the youth ages 8 through 16 years of age. We also have Glow, a black light party, which will be held at the Metropolitan, as well as Scream for Halloween, an ABC party, which the theme would be anything but clothes, just something to be creative as far as using caution tape, cardboard boxes, anything but your birthday suit. Then we also have, we also want to try to put together an end of summer urban music festival that would possibly be held next summer, 2015.
Qualifications and experience of Cassandra, which is myself. I, Cassandra, have been working with Family Services in the Interdependent Living Program for the past 6 years. This program is designed to help better youth from ages 16 to the age of 21. Each person can participate in a different group and give them a positive outlet to help grow their skills and talents. Since the age of 12, I was a dependent of the Office of Children and Youth. I have been in numerous group homes, juvenile facilities, and foster homes up to the age of 17 years old in 2010. At the same time as closing with OCY, my father passed away and I ended up developing post-traumatic stress disorder. Later that winter, I attended Mercyhurst University of Northeast for hospitality management. The classes that I enrolled were purchasing, housekeeping, human resources, marketing, foods, and etc. From these teachings, I am able to plan and promote upcoming events from the front of the house and provide a menu for the back of the house at any venues. I also perform at various venues and events since the age of 3. I have traveled to Buffalo, Boston, New York City, Albany, Portland, Baltimore, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Ohio to broaden my knowledge on diversity, music, and cultural background.
Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I have to. The presentation to us is limited to 5 minutes.
Okay.
Rose, since there's 2 of them, would you give them another 5?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I've learned from my past experience and I have transformed them into a positive outlook on my life. I would like to relay my story to the public and hope to show them that there is always an opportunity to better yourself as a person each and every day. I have been working with the Bach Street Couture and Roswell Enterprise as far as recording music and promoting goes. I also have worked with Brandon Sliker for photography and event planning with Lemoore VL. My personal goal through this proposal is to seek a way for local artists to showcase their talents and also persuade the public into seeing that violence does not just come from hip-hop. I want to show the troubled youth that they have a voice, their opinion will and does matter, that someone does care about them, and that there are other opportunities and ways that they can accomplish what truly makes them happy. I hope that they will want to make a difference in their community and show them that they can be comfortable in their own shoes.
Qualifications and experiences of Lemoore VL. I, Lemoore VL, have many qualities, talents, qualifications, and life experience that make me capable of creating events such as these. Having grown up in Los Angeles, California, I performed and participated in various shows, events, and festivals. I moved to Erie, PA in 2003, where I attended Edinburgh University for psychology. The loss of my grandmother in 2006 caused me to go through a cycle of depression. I dropped out of school, and I found myself associating with people who did not have my best interest at heart. It took me 2 years to get myself back on track. I enrolled in an online program to help me obtain my certification for wedding and event planning. I am currently a part of the Association for Bridal Consultants. I began planning, promoting, and doing photography for various events around the city of Erie, including for women expos, weddings, festivals, and concerts and shows. Within the past year, I have decided to get back into singing and entertainment. I quickly realized that places for local hip-hop and R&B artists were fast depleting. With the closing of the Crooked Eye, one of the last venues to support the hip-hop and R&B community, I knew I had to step up and do something. I began connecting with local artists to find out what we needed to do in order to shed that negative stigma associated with hip-hop and R&B. I quickly noticed that because of poor planning and poor representation, these local artists were missing the key to help them properly succeed in the city. I then teamed up with The Box and Roswell Enterprises to create and promote local artists and bands. Collectively, we have put together shows with Crooked Eye, PACA, Sherlock's, Penn State Baron, and many other venues around the city. With continued assistance from them, Cassandra, and also with your support and backing, I know with all my being that we can create positive events where our community will feel safe to attend and we can rise above the negativity that looms over our city. Help us spread our awareness. Help us unite our city once again. In closing, we have been denied the opportunity to help and do our part for much too long. We know of so many people that can help to organize wonderful, peaceful events for our fellow citizens. All we are asking is for the opportunity to showcase what we have to offer. I know that if we can bond together, we can achieve the goal of peace and prosperity within our community. Let us take a stand once and for all to help our youth, to help our community, and to help revive our city from the violence and substance abuse that has taken over. We want to help make positive changes. We want to bring forth new ideas to help us become a united city once again. We want the chance to prove to not only our city, but to ourselves that the peace we so long for can be obtained. All we need is your help, understanding, and support to make these ideas, these dreams, a reality. Thank you so much for your time and your consideration of this proposal.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Mr. President, I know we don't usually respond, excuse me, to citizens to be heard, but I think it's very appropriate that we recognize these young people who are coming to the forefront and who are really offering a suggestion versus complaining about nothing to do. One of the greatest things that one of my mentors taught me was, he said, don't ever come to me with just a problem. He said, come with a problem and a couple ideas for a solution. And so I just wanted to take a moment to recognize you. I don't know if you all have to leave earlier than the meeting will be ending, but I appreciate your effort. Some of you, I know a little bit about who you are and some of the things you do, probably more than you know. And because I have a brother in the age group and he's, doing his music thing too. So thank you for being here. And I know myself and I'm sure multiple of us support concept, even if, Mr. Spoon doesn't have the rhythm anymore to keep up with hip hop. But we definitely support anything that's positive and people investing in community, because the problems aren't city council problems, they're community problems, and we're all a part of that. So I'll be in touch again with Cassandra, and we've already been in contact, and we'll continue to do that. And I'm sure whatever I can do, whatever this body can do that's appropriate, we'll do that to help. All right. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, sir, you're welcome. To my members of council, we aren't surprised that Councilman Jones consistently break our rules, but very wise counsel, and we appreciate that, Councilman Jones. Okay, we'll continue with citizens to be heard.
Good evening, Council President, Council, guests.
Good evening.
When I first walked in tonight, I thought maybe this was the football team, but to my surprise, it wasn't. But those are a great group of people, and those are the people that we need to help because they want to help and grow the city. But I want to talk just briefly a little bit about your item G, Resolution 1, about bringing Mr. Clem back after nearly 5 decades of service. And I do appreciate he has a lot of experience, and you're never going to replace that experience, whether we bring him back for 1 year, 2 years, or 5 years. Mr. Clem told us that he thought about retiring a year ago, but was asked to stay on. He did. And I have all the confidence in the world of his replacement. And if I look at all the years of service and on council now, with going from my right to the left and Mr. Witherspoon's second tour of duty, I think with all those years of service that you can help Rose if she gets stuck. I think she can count on you to help her out. I have confidence you can do that. What bothers me is the mixed message we're sending. We're sending the youth of the community that are here tonight that we don't have money for a jobs program. Remember? The city didn't have money for a jobs program like the county did to help youth like this out and help the good young people out. But yet, we do have money for a jobs program. It sounds like council has $10,000 or $12,000 a year for a jobs program. So if we want to digitally preserve these documents, why don't we have a jobs program and take part of that money and hire youth of the community to come in and scan these documents on the Xerox machine or the copier and PDF the files. That's how we digitally preserve documents. You put them on the copier and press the button. Then someone has to go in and save them so we know what they're saved as. The largest employer in Erie, when you retire, you have to wait 6 months before you're allowed to come back and serve again. So I'm asking council again to consider, very carefully consider the vote on this resolution tonight because of the message it's sending. It's saying that we don't have money for a jobs program for the youth of our city. But what do we have the money for? Well, apparently we have the money for this number one under new business. And again, I want to stress to you, the highest compliment you can pay someone is when they leave, that business goes on as usual. And I think you have to give the current, I don't know how that happened, but I don't think that's Rose's problem. But I hope that you can find it within yourselves, the confidence that you can give our new city clerk the opportunity to do the job. Because I, again, feel that she has the experience, and with Mr. Kaz being on school board for years and the city controller and all the tours of duty that you've done up there as those terms, because I know you're under fire all the time, that's why I call it a tour of duty. But with all that experience, I'm sure you can help and see their way through and save this $12,000 a year and possibly think about maybe you spend a couple $1,000s and you bring a couple people in and let them work in the office there and help preserve some of these documents that need digitally scanned in. It's a jobs program. And I think that would send the right message. Take a look at my notes. I think that's it for tonight. I really appreciate your time, and I hope you do consider that. Consider taking that extra $12,000 you have for professional services. And these can be professional young people. A lot of young people are professionals. All you have to do is give them the title and they become a professional, and you could bring them in and create your own jobs program right here, just 10 feet away from you, where you sit. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Councilman.
Good evening.
Mr. President, and the rest of you, too. I want to echo what Mr. Barnes just said about the kids. You should have those kids on your mind. In fact, you should have done made plans back in the winter for them to have jobs when school was out. Them kids need some money in their pockets. They need the work ethics too. They do these little jobs. This will improve them later in life. If you give them a helping hand, they'll appreciate it later on. See, when you go to work, you don't just jump in there and work. It's got to be bred in you. And if they've been doing little jobs over the summer when school is out, this will improve them. You want them to be improved, don't you? You don't want them out there on the street corner shooting dice or shooting at somebody like things have been going on. Give them something to look forward to. You all should be making plans for those kids. They can't get out there and take nothing. And I'm seeing here you finna get a new police vehicle. What are you doing with the ones you got? I see them racing around here like the devil is after them, and that's wrong right there, because when they run over somebody, what you gonna say? The officer was doing his job, he done run over somebody? I think you need to slow them down before they run over somebody. One like to hit me today. He hit me, oh, the officer was doing his job. I won't feel too good about that. You need to, I don't know. Me coming down here, peoples get to know me. And a guy was telling me that this happened a little bit ago. The police jumped out, they was looking for somebody, and they jumped out and they beat the hell out of this guy. And come to find out it was the wrong guy. I would hate for that to happen to me because I'd rather for them to go in and shoot me than to jump out there, gonna whoop me, old as I am. I'm 81 years old. You gonna come out there and whoop me. I thought they supposed to arrest them. If they did some, arrest them. And the judge over there, of course, ain't no justice for us anyway. Ain't no justice for us. But I tell you what, when God come, we'll get justice, and you will too. I promise you that. I promise you that. You should read your Bible. Read somebody's Bible. And just maybe you'll get a different mindset. I see how they're writing our president. He ain't no mighty man. He's a man just like I hope we are. He's a well-educated man, and he ain't no fool either. He's a good man. He wanted to extend that unemployment. He got a good heart. But there's so much hatred out there, it don't make sense. I look at all those kids coming in down on the border. I can't feel bad about it, but I'm thinking about those that has been waiting all those years to come across, and here all these kids are coming, getting ahead of them, which ain't right. Our president got that to deal with. And the Republicans said they wasn't going to help him do nothing. In another country, they'd take them out and shoot every one of them for just saying that. But this is America. This is the melting pot. But the bottom going to fall out of this pot because them kids coming is causing economically, we're going down. We're spending more money. We're spending money that we don't have. We're borrowing money. It don't make sense to me. They should nip it on the other end and stop it. I don't blame them kids who coming over. Come on. Come on. Things are better over here. I'm going to America. But we can't handle that, all them kids. All of those kids. My heart goes out for them because they risk their lives, getting on them trains coming up here. And a lot of them are dying. I don't know. We got to do something, though, because our kids are involved. I thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Are there any other citizens to be heard? Are there any other citizens to be heard? Are there any other citizens to be heard? Hearing none, Rose will continue with the agenda.
All right, ordinances for final passage. Council file number 15879, official ordinance number 25, 2014. An ordinance appropriating the sum of $790,000 in the City of Erie 2011 Capital Bond Fund from unanticipated and unappropriated fund balance. The council file ordinance number 15879, now known as official file ordinance number 25, 2014, be finally passed by the City Council. Mr. Brennan, Mrs. Rancunso, Mr. Jones, Mr. Kwiatkowski, Mr. Mursky, Mr. Winarski, Mr. Witherspoon. City Council passed official file number 25, 2014 by yeas 7, nays 0. Council file 15880, official ordinance number 26, 2014, appropriating the sum of $412,899 from unappropriated and anticipated revenue to be received from the PA Department of Community and Economic Development for the Little Italy Elm Street project. That council file bill number 15880, now known as official file ordinance number 26 of 2014, be finally passed by City Council. Mr. Brennan, Mrs. Rancunso, Mr. Jones, Mr. Kwiatkowski, Mr. Mursky, Mr. Winarski, Mr. Witherspoon. City Council pass official file ordinance number 26, 2014 by yea 7, nay 0. Ordinances for first reading. Council file number 15881, an ordinance amending the codified ordinances of the City of Erie Part 1 Administrative Code, Title 7, Employment Provisions, Pensions, Article 145, Officers and Employees Retirement System, by amending sections 145.02 and 145.15F, by adding a definition relating to surviving spouse, and amending the definition of survivor, and amending the provision regarding anti-alienation in order to clarify the status of former spouses under the plan. That council file ordinance number 15881 having been read is hereby adopted on first reading by the City Council. Mr. Brennan, Mrs. Ronquillo, Mr. Jones, Mr. Kwiatkowski, Mr. Mursky, Mr. Winarski, Mr. Witherspoon. City Council read and adopt council file ordinance number 15881 by yeas 7, nays 0.
Mr. President,
Mr. Young?
I move the balance of the agenda.
It's been properly moved.
Second.
It's been second.
Any separations?
I'd like to separate number 1 and G.
Number 1 under new business has been separated. Is there any further separation? Mrs. Roby?
Moving the balance of the agenda, Mr. Brennan, Mrs. Ronquillo, Mr. Jones, Mr. Kwiatkowski, Mr. Mursky, Mr. Winarski, Mr. Witherspoon. Under new business, sponsored by James Winarski and seconded by Melvin Witherspoon, that James Clem is hereby retained as consultant to Erie City Council and the City of Erie as archivist for a 2-year period on a retainer fee of $1,000 a month, and authorize the proper city officials to execute the necessary documents effectuating the same. Said contract to be effective from August 1st, 2014 until July 31st, 2016. Charge to City Council Professional Services account number 002-0101-00004041. Mr. Brennan?
No.
Mrs. Ronquillo? Mr. Jones? Mr. Kwiatkowski?
No.
Mr. Mursky?
No.
Mr. Winarski? Mr. Witherspoon? That would take us to committee reports, Mr. President.
Let's start with
Give the vote count, Rose.
Oh, the vote count is yeas 4, nays 3.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll start with Mr. Mursky.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a few things to report. I met with officials in Lublin, Poland on my trip. We're looking for economic development opportunities to collaborate with the people of Lublin, and I met with their deputy mayor and 2 of their city council people when I was over there. They were very hospitable, and they look forward next year to celebrating the 15th anniversary of our sister city relationship together. The Erie County Convention Center Authority, a new scoreboard is going to be installed with high-definition screens. It was part of the original plan with the renovations, but they ran out of money. Now they've recouped some of the money from with the increased ticket sales, and so that's going to be coming up this summer. Also, we're going to have a meeting coming up here soon about the Convention Center Authority's plans for the GAF site, the first phase. From Neighborhood Watch National Night Out, just jumping ahead here a little bit, is going to be on August 5th. So there's plenty of opportunities around the city of Erie in each of our neighborhoods to go out, celebrate, meet your neighbors. When we meet our neighbors and we understand each other and we know each other, it makes it a lot easier to combat crime, but also to make our neighborhoods better and make our neighborhoods safer. And finally, just a point of personal privilege, the Southeast Erie Farmers Market has started. We're on the corner of East 38th and Pine Avenue every Saturday from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. And Mr. Witherspoon, I will bring you some blueberries. And that's all I have to report. Thank you.
Councilman Brennan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Went to a couple meetings here, attended the Port Authority meeting on the July 8th. Their projects continue. The seawall construction near the Intermodal Center, that work's going well. The Cascade Street walkway at the Bluff is continuing. That's going to probably end up wrapping up in November, October. Also, 8 Great Tuesdays started, which is a big effort on the Port Authority's part to try to bring more people into downtown and to experience Erie. It's at Liberty Park from 6:30 to 9:30. It already started this past July 8th. It continues on the July 15th, 22nd, 29th, and also August 5th, 12th, 19th, and 26th. There's free shuttles provided by the E. I attended the Erie County Historical Society Awards event on the 9th. Awards were given out to 3 separate individuals or organizations. Tom Hagen for his continued contribution to local history. The Niagara League they got an award for the Tall Ships Festival. I'm sure everyone's heard about the festival. It brought in about $6 million to the local economy. So incredible event, especially displaying our local history of our Niagara. And Kathy Watts won Volunteer of the Year for the Historical Society. Some upcoming events. One of the sponsors for a preservation event that's coming up soon. We're calling it Preservation Happy Hour. It's going to be at Plymouth Tavern on July 24th, 5:30 to 7:30. Local preservation organizations are getting together to discuss what they're doing to help revitalize our community. We're hoping to continue these discussions till there's a lot more communication going on, and a lot more coordination of different efforts going on, especially downtown. National Night Out is coming up. It's a little bit further down the line, but it's August 5th, usually from 4 to 8 p.m. Various organizations throughout the city, neighborhood watches, are going to be out that evening doing different events. And really it's to promote the spirit of our community and also to encourage everyone to take a role in that participation in the community. There's going to be a lot of different events. I'm sure it's going to be published in the newspaper and probably on TV of all the different organizations having an event that evening. That's it, my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Jim?
Councilman Jim.
I know you personally.
Good evening, everyone. Really no committee reports tonight as we have our monthly meetings later on this month, so next council meeting I'll give you an update if there's anything to update. Other than that, Roar on the Shore here in Erie, PA, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I appreciate all the citizens with their, shall we say, courage and just be careful out there for the fact that there's a lot of bikes out there. Look once, look twice, look 3 times if you have to. This is a big boost for our Erie economy in the summer. Millions of dollars are generated, and so please, I appreciate the patience just from the roar of the bikes and the traffic that comes with it. I want to thank the organizers for bringing this to the city of Erie, along with the administration, to help this keep growing. It is good for our downtown in the summer, and it's a great job. Naturally, we have our local festivals coming up, our block parties. Like David said, our 8 Great Tuesdays. There's a lot of things happening in this town, a lot of things that are free. Enjoy the summer while it's here. Please be safe. Look out for your neighbors, and please have a great next couple of weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Winarski. Councilman Jones.
Thank you, Mr. President. As well, I will have liaison or authority meetings later on this month. Excuse me, so I'll have some more specific liaison assignment information at that time at our next meeting. I did want to reference, and it has been referenced, the National Night Out event that's going to take place in August, and to the Underground Hip Hop Review team, I'll just throw it out there, that might be an opportunity for venues to be a part of some of those events. And so, as someone said, I'm sure it will be advertised where and what organizations will be having events. A shortcut to that, though, if you call United Way, I believe it's Mike Joswick. Don't ask me how to spell it, and it's not spelled like it sounds, but just say that. Say the name, and they'll contact you with him. I know he is the planner and organizer for that. So Mike at United Way, he probably could give you a list sooner than it will be out in the paper, and you can contact some of those neighborhood watch groups, and there might be an opportunity to be a part of what they're doing, okay? Also, I was at Spoons Court Basketball League the other day, and I saw something that was really, really powerful. Not only are young people and their families, including mine, at those events, watching the kids play, enjoying being in a safe place outside. The police are there, and there's security, and it's a secure environment, and all those necessary things are taking place. But I saw something that took it a little bit over the top for me in a positive way. I saw about 30 young men, aged 13 or 14, under a tent, ready and chomping at the bit to play basketball. But the motto at Spoons Court is no workshop, no jump shot. And these young men were sitting under this tent, anticipating playing in a game. They were telling their buddies that were coming up on their team, they were late. Like, man, hurry up, man, you ain't gonna be able to play, you better get over here. And there was such a powerful message given on a couple levels. Of course, what was being said by Mr. Witherspoon and other presenters, but just the message that this is important. And it's not just about what you're physically able to do, but it's about getting something in your head that can last a lot longer than your jump shot or your ability to dunk, because mine ran out a couple years ago. But I still got things that this man in particular, Mr. Rush, and so many other men in this community have taught me. I'll never forget it. And so to see that was great and powerful, and that's one of those small pieces that add to the greater puzzle or a greater picture that will be able to kind of get our community leaning in the right direction. I hate to kind of end on a negative note, but I think there's really nothing negative if you utilize it to create something new or something positive out of it. I heard a statistic today. I was in a meeting, and there's a gentleman, I think it was on NPR or somewhere, I didn't hear it, but they told me about it, and I may be misquoting it, but with all of the issues of violence that are going on and all this if somebody said gunplay, like, you don't play with guns, so I don't like the term gunplay. It's too much of a serious object to play with. But with all the gun activity, illegal gun activity in our community, Erie has risen to a very negative position. It's like number 2 in the nation per capita or per community size with gun violence. That's unacceptable. You know what I mean? In a community like Erie, where this is where people have told me they want to retire here, believe it or not. They just love the lake. Even in the winter, they love to ice fish. You know, this is a great community. We are not living up to our potential. And that's why the things like what Mr. Witherspoon and the folks that are working with him are doing are so important. What this group is wanting to do, what so many other organizations are trying to do and are doing in this community, it is not for nothing. First of all, and second of all, we need more people to get onto this positive wagon of doing something for our community, because that needs to change. And that will change if those of us who are invested here and love this community will continue to put forward the effort to make it better. And listen, as scary as it may be, we can't be afraid of kids. At the end of the day, we can't be afraid of kids, because a kid is a kid, and if you can touch their heart, you can make them do whatever you want them to do with their hands. And so we have to touch more hearts of our young people. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman Jones. Councilman Kotowski.
Just a quick report. I only had one committee meeting this week. That was the Erie Police pension plan. Things are progressing well, and nothing new to report there. Doing a good job, and I'll have more of my meetings next meeting.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Kunzel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Our last Finance Committee meeting, we discussed again the issue of the garbage delinquency. And at this point, I see I've received here a copy of the amended billing and collection service agreement, just to let everybody know that's signed now it'll go into place. We're expecting that for the fourth quarter of 2014 billing, that our citizens will receive a bill for their water and then a separate bill for their garbage and sewer. Currently, they're receiving a garbage bill and a separate water and sewer bill. So it'll just change the combinations will change. We do still have a large number of delinquent accounts, people that don't pay for their garbage to be picked up and haven't for many years. We have made some progress. We have got a lot more people enrolled in payment plans and a lot more people paying their garbage bills. However, we still have a large delinquency of about $2 million. We just want to encourage everybody to pay those bills. Once we enter into the new billing system, combining those bills, what we'll do is the garbage and sewer bill, the payments that you make will be applied to the oldest debt that you owe. So if you haven't paid your garbage in 20 years, whatever you pay will be applied to that oldest debt. What can happen then as a result is your sewer is unpaid and therefore your water can be shut off. So it's very important that people take it seriously and make sure that they're paying their delinquent bills, garbage, sewer, water, any of it, that they're paying those delinquencies, and also that if they have trouble paying those bills, if their financial situation is difficult, they can enter into a payment plan. We have something like 35,000 customers or something that are billed. 32,000 customers are billed, and there are 161 payment plans. So of 32,000 customers, only 161 people take advantage of our payment plans. So if you need a payment plan, you certainly can go down to the Erie Waterworks and enter into one. We don't want to penalize people who are trying. So if you're trying to make payments on your delinquency, we appreciate that. We won't shut your water off as a result. But this is a serious matter, and it will be changing in the fourth quarter. We do recognize that over 70% of the delinquent garbage monies outstanding is responsibility of the landlords. They're not owner-occupied units. They're rented units. They're 70% of our delinquency. And, those tenants have rights, too. We're not intending to shut off the water on tenants who are trying to pay. They can make arrangements with making their payment through a rent withholding to the waterworks so that things don't get shut off. So there are some safeguards in place, but I just want to make sure that people start to realize that this is coming and start to prepare for it. And ultimately, we want everybody to pay their bills and not be delinquent and enter into payment plans if necessary. So that's all I wanted to just remind people. That'll come up pretty soon. It's already July, so that's for fourth quarter billing. That should be expected. So. And that's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't have a report, but I just want to say to the public that our council, we work very hard on every issue, and every individual has a right to share their opinion and vote accordingly. And we do that. But the blessing comes when it's over this evening. We're shaking hands, we're hugging each other, and we don't talk about it anymore. That didn't happen in the past when I served. I had council folks stop speaking to me for 3 months. And that was the best 3 months of my life. But we have a unique group, and you don't see it. As we do it in caucus, we do it on the phone, wherever. And I'm proud to be president this particular year and see the personalities. But when it's time to come down and get the job done, we do band together. I love you all guys for that. Rose, meeting's adjourned. Huh? Oh, I'm ready to go. I got to go to Spoon's Court.
That's right, he's got to be somewhere.
Yeah, I sure do. Go ahead.
No, I have nothing
Teresa,
to report.
no report? Administration, Mr. Rush, good to see you, sir.
I will make it simple because I think Mr. Winarski and Mr. Brennan already told you all the great things we have going this summer. We're about halfway through, and we come up with car shows and festivals and everything else. It's a great time of year to be in Erie, PA. Let's get out and enjoy all of it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Rose?
City Council adjourns at 8:28. Mr. Witherspoon, Mr. Brennan, Mrs. Rankunso, Mr. Jones, Mr. Potowski, Mr. Mursky, Mr. Winarski.